Hi guys, this is Saheli and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'll be reviewing a book which is known as famously by author Ajay Pandey, that is Everything I Never Told You. So let's begin with the characters of the book. So there are mainly three characters of the book, or rather I should say four characters. So there involves a chemistry between Roshan, who is the main protagonist of the character, and Soha. Soha is maybe we can call it heroine of the novel. So, and son of Roshan, who is known as Anuj. He is also one of the main characters of this novel. The thing is that you find that Roshan and Soha are in love and Anuj is their son. You're absolutely wrong, I must say, because the fourth character which is missing is Manisha, wife of Roshan. Or rather, I should say, dead wife of Roshan. Sounds a bit depressing, but yes, it's the truth. So, Manisha, who is the dead wife of Roshan, is the mother of Anuj. And subsequently, there develops a love plot between Roshan and Soha. And there comes a situation where we should say this love story brews in between. So, starting from the characters, or you should say the blurb of the novel, it says that Roshan is Hindu by religion and Soha is Muslim by religion. They were neighbors, or rather we should say childhood friends. They grew up and they became best friends. They lived in the same colony, actually opposite to each other. So yeah, they were schoolmates, they were batchmates, they were college mates. But yes, so continuing after like a huge gap of 3 hours, so let me introduce you to Soha. Soha is the main heroine of the story, and there comes a place where the differences between Roshan and Soha get so magnified that Roshan was unable to convince his father about the marriage between Soha and Roshan, and therefore there was no marriage occurring, and Roshan was instead married to Manisha. And after few years means like 4 to 5 years, Manisha got pregnant with Anuj, and Anuj was born. And after Anuj was born, Manisha felt very weak, and it was after lots of tests that was conveyed that she found that the family and she herself found out that she was surviving from cancer, a certain type of cancer, and she required huge expenses, huge medical expenses to continue surviving for certain months. But if she does not do the medical expenses, she can like expire immediately. So Soha is a gynecologist by profession, and her clinic, Noor Clinic, which was just opposite Roshan's house, there Manisha was admitted for her treatment of cancer. And the medical expenses of Manisha were taken care of mostly by Soha, because she didn't charge any fees from neither Roshan nor his family members, because they thought of Roshan as their own family members and they couldn't, take expenses of them. So yeah, that's how the love between Roshan and Soha remained, a little suppressed one. But yeah, Manisha came to know about the equation between Roshan and Soha, and therefore she never, objectified anything, because she thought that I'm going to die myself and I won't let my Roshan die in such a solaced place, and therefore she wasn't such convinced by the conviction which Roshan took. And after she died, the most affected person after her demise was her son Anuj. This story brings out a very tragic, very blunt part of death. It always surrounds and captivates you that when a person in a family dies and that person is the main householder of the family, like a mother of the family, then the whole family gets tragically affected by her death, because upon her there were certain responsibilities and certain convictions that she had to fulfill, her duty that she had to fulfill. There was no one to fill that gap in that house any longer, and therefore death touches the soul of once. There is a famous line in this book, Everything I Never Told You, which says, in which Manisha herself says that in the end we all are just memories. The life we live, we don't know when death will touch us. We are not certain, because death is an inevitable part of life. It always occurs after a certain period of time. And therefore, she tells us that the moments we live, we need to live in the moments before they become memories. And that's what is the most oh my tragical part of this book. It's such an emotional roller coaster that after when I finished this book within 3 days. And the first day I read 15 chapters, the second day I read 7 to 8 chapters, and the third day I completed the whole book. Like, after completing the whole book, I read the epilogue twice to just understand what the ending of the story goes like. And oh my, the ending touches the soul. It's such a sweet and such a beautiful ending of the story. You know, first Roshan tries to convince Anuj about the marriage between Roshan and Soha. And when he thinks that he has significantly failed in his goal to convince Anuj, there comes a very, very sweet ending of this, sweet savior story that, I cried wholeheartedly when I finished reading this book. I was so, the ending was so damn heart-touching, it just, I cannot explain within words. I'm just speechless. So yeah, if you are going to read something deep, something emotional, and something sensational types, it's not thriller. I don't want to say it's thriller, because the thriller keeps on engaging you. And while reading this book, you will feel that it's kind of boring in the first few chapters, like kind of 4 to 5 chapters. It's kind of boring. But when you come in the middle of the book, you'll feel like, I have to finish this today. I have to finish this. But you can't. You need to live that moment a bit longer and then savor yourself in that moment so that you could, relive the past things. And that's when the book comes to an end. You cannot objectify the ending like this, So yeah. It's kind of quite predictable, the ending I had predicted. It's quite an accomplishment for me. Like, I always kind of predict the endings before the ending comes in the book itself. So yeah, that's kind of an accomplishment for me because I guessed it correctly. I try guessing it in every book, but yeah, I became successful in this one, so I'm very happy with myself. Anyways, jokes apart. So yeah, if you want to read this book, you'll experience something you have never experienced in your whole life. The whole emotional setup of this novel is so, this novel takes you to different places. It takes you to a mosque, it takes you to a church, it takes you to a temple. It makes us objectify about the various differences that knowledge and culture brings with it. Because in the end, we all are just humans, and there is no more bigger and brighter religion than humanity itself. Humanity is the biggest religion humans could ever follow, and that's what is one of the main themes of this book. So yeah, go for it. If you're watching my video till now, thank you. Very, very heartwarming thanks from my side, because this means a lot to me. So yeah, do like, share, subscribe, comment, and I'll take your leave today, signing off.